All right, welcome back to the Tailgate Connect podcast. I'm your host, Luke Lord with Tailgating Challenge. I love all things tailgating. Tonight, we talk with Stephen Garcia, a former South Carolina Gamecock quarterback. We go behind the scenes of his playing days at the university. We hear about Coach Steve Spurrier. We learn some of his favorite tailgating tips and drinks. And we even talk NIL and his thoughts on that, and so much more. You're going to want to tune in to listen to this one.
Gather round tailgaters, hear the call, it's game day, y'all. Let's have a ball across the states from college to NFL. Tailgate Connect's got a story to tell.
All right, welcome back to the Tailgate Connect podcast. We have a special guest tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, former Gamecock quarterback, Stephen Garcia. Stephen, how you doing, sir?
Cheers, man. That's a hell of an intro right there. I like it. Thank you.
Hey, I feel like you earned it following your career as being a Gamecock alumni myself with it. And I feel like it's very appropriate. Before we came on the show, Steven said, like, hey, I've had a couple of drinks before the show tonight. I was like, I would not be that surprised. But what is in your cup? I feel like I need to know what's in your cup tonight.
It is a bullet bourbon.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right.
Start off with tequila and moved on to bourbon. It got a little darker, so made the switch.
Fair enough. All right. For those that don't know, like I said, Stephen was one of the all-time great Gamecock quarterbacks at the University of South Carolina back in the days when Carolina had some of their best programs of all time under Coach Steve Spurrier. With the one I remember the most is when you led the Gamecocks at home to a win over number one Alabama. I think that was 2010, if my memory serves correctly.
Yep. Many moons ago.
It does feel like we're getting older.
Yeah.
For it. But before we get to like all of that, like I know too, like you have your own podcast as well too. It's like a tailgating style podcast. And so like I want to know, like, now that you're, kind of out of the game of football, like tell us about like your love of tailgating. I know you still do some things at the university. Tell us, like, why do you love tailgating?
I mean, anytime you can get around, the boys and just kind of participate in that camaraderie, that it's almost, I equate it to being in the locker room, and there's nothing like being in the locker room with the guys you're, blood, sweat, and tears with. You're working out in the summer, you're working out in the winter, and you don't want to be there. And we've had this on the podcast. We've talked to guys that played at Carolina that went on to do great things, and we asked them every single time. It's like, when was your wake up call, like, that you knew that you deserved to be in the SEC, you deserve to be at Carolina? And they all say that first day, that first workout, you get your ass absolutely beat to hell. And it's kind of like, I deserve to be here. But so it's a long winded response, but tailgating and being around the fans, I'm a people guy, just being around people that kind of have the same aspirations. They want their team to do well. They want to have a good time. They're, around family, around friends. I mean, there's just something about it that just, makes the heart feel warm, I guess you could say.
No, trust me, that is not lost on me for a second. So I haven't been in the locker room with the guys before like that. Never played football at your level or anything. But like, I love how you brought it back to that. Because again, at the end of the day, tailgating to me is about people. People say like, what's the most important thing to have at a tailgate? I say good people. Like that's
Yeah,
step one. If you have that, the rest works itself out every single time. So I love that reference there.
absolutely. 100%, man. 100%. If you're around a bunch of dipshits, man, it's not going to be that fun.
And trust me, I understand that part as well too. So, like, I guess, like, I feel like you kind of said that. Like, have you been to a tailgate where maybe it was the vibe was bad? Was there some bad people there? Like, was there some failgating going on?
Not once, man. And I'm sure there was, some sketchy people, but I have a tendency to, I don't know, I attract fun, I guess you could say. So uh, it's like, I'm having fun regardless. And I remember going to I didn't travel my redshirt year. I didn't travel to LSU, so I went down. I had a bunch of buddies. My younger brother went to UCF, so I was like, "Hey guys, I didn't travel this week, so I'm gonna come down to UCF." I went down there, man, and tailgated with those guys. And UCF tailgating compared to South Carolina tailgating, and, obviously, I didn't know that when I was playing, but after playing, but, yeah, UCF's a different animal. Orlando's a whole different kind of vibe compared to, SEC football. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there was some sketchy shit going on over there. I didn't have any part of it. I was just having a good old time, man. It's hard to I mean, obviously, I've been cussing. Am I allowed to cuss a little bit on this?
Oh yeah, hey, this
Yeah,
is a show to express yourself.
it's hard to fuck up a tailgate. It is. You got to try really hard to fuck it up. So yeah,
So,
and
you mentioned that UCF was a little bit different than a South Carolina tailgate. And I feel like I was kind of reading into that to what you were saying, but like, can you expand on that? Like, is it just like a South Carolina, just more people? Is it a different vibe, different people? Like, what
uh,
exactly is the difference?
anything and everything that you could imagine is exactly the correct answer. It's the Orlando people. It's I forgot what I think they were the Big East at that point. They didn't really give a shit about the team. They were more worried about doing other shit, as opposed to, for, rooting on the boys. So yeah, it was the whole atmosphere was just completely different. And, to each their own. I got no issues with that. It's their deal.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, so you went to this was back in your playing days, right? When you went
Yeah.
to UCF.
So this was 2000 shit. I guess 7. Yeah, I redshirted that year.
Okay. And so, since then, like, have you? I know obviously you go back home for some of the Gamecock tailgates and everything. Have you made it to like other schools? Do you have a top list of like, hey, these are some of the spots that the tailgating is amazing at?
To be honest, no, man. Unfortunately, I was gonna do a little like tailgate tour. I don't know if you heard of the company Saturday Down South. I don't know if you are you
Oh
familiar with
yeah,
those guys. So I did some work with them when I got done after my first year in Canada. And long story short, that just s- some weird stuff. Again, Orlando crowd, just not my cup of tea. Uh, but yeah, so we were supposed to do like a tailgating tour. Never happened. Never, nothing came to fruition. So no, to be honest, the only tailgating I've done is I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school when my brothers were at Harvard. So I went to
right.
Harvard tailgates. Wasn't drinking back then, but I saw plenty of those guys. They'll put SEC guys to shame. That's a whole
Really?
Ivy League and Boston.
Yeah.
Those guys are on a different planet. Absolutely different planet. Shout out to
Like
Matt
with their
Fratto. Shout out to my brother Brian. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to shit. Fucking who's the quarterback? Fitzpatrick. He was out there. Dude, those guys absolutely raged. And it was pretty cool seeing that as like a young kid. I had no idea what the hell was going on, but quickly found out. But yeah, to answer your question, the long-winded response is no, I have not got a chance to tailgate as much as I'd like to.
well, first, like that tailgate tour, like that needs to be something we put back on the radar because I feel like that could be pretty epic at this point in our lives. The second part, like I feel like I'm a little surprised, honestly, that like when you said like Harvard does it like wilder than the Southeastern Conference, I would have not had that on my bingo card this evening.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe I'd have to go back again to see, as an adult. But when I was a freshman or sophomore in high school and getting a chance to see that, I was like, holy shit, these guys are out of
Okay.
their minds. And again, it's Harvard. There's a significant amount of money that's being spent over there for tailgate. So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's got a different niche. I will say this: the first kid I ever trained, I completely forgot about this. The first kid I ever trained, his dad is a bull gator, which is like the main booster for the University of Florida. So I went to the Georgia Florida game when they played in Jacksonville, and got a chance to tailgate with those guys. The jorts and all I couldn't care less about that. That was the stupidest shit I ever saw.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't get it. Why a grown man would wear that is, confusing to me.
I mean, I personally have never worn them before. I don't judge another person if they decide to wear them, but to each their own, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. It is different strokes for different folks, you know?
No doubt. No doubt. All right. What's that? We're talking like tailgating tour and stuff. If there was one school that you haven't been to that you would love to go to and see how they tailgate, like, where you going?
Are we talking SEC or just in
Anywhere.
general?
Any football.
Man, that's a great question. I mean, I'm a little I feel like I'm so used to the heat, man. I kind of want to get away from it. Maybe like Hawaii would be kind of fun, a tropical deal, but I'm also thinking like Wisconsin or Minnesota. One of the guys where it's just freezing cold. You have to drink to stay warm kind of deal. Uh,
Okay.
that being said, I don't know if that'd be that much fun. I'm just kind of speaking out loud. Uh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I took an official visit to the Grove and
Right.
at Ole Miss, so I know exactly what I'm expecting there. So that's obviously a top 10 deal. But I mean, I just to answer your question, man, I feel like you can't go wrong with tailgating. Everyone's got their own traditions and their own specifications of what they're doing, what they want to do, how they do it. I just don't think you can go wrong. I really don't.
No, I've done tiny schools. I've done huge schools. I've had fun at every single one of them wherever I've traveled across the country with it. So again, it goes back to coming in there with the right mindset. Hey, it's going to be fun. I don't care if it's hot, if it's cold, if it's raining. If you got the good people in that mindset, you're going to have a great day.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, what's your favorite? Give me like an SEC school, then an outside school.
Okay. I mean, again, obviously biased, like University of South Carolina, like that's where I got my love of tailgating from and everything, like tailgating outside of Williams Bryce many, many times. But if we take that one out, probably the best one I've been to so far, knowing I still have some more to get to, like LSU night game is hard to beat. The
I can
tailgates out
imagine.
there are turned to the max of anywhere I've been for a night game at LSU. And then if we're going somewhere outside of LSU, I would toss like Oregon was like a really fun one because it's like
No
it's in the
shit.
middle of the freaking like woods almost, and there's like rivers running all over the place. I mean, it's just very green and a very different vibe out there in Oregon. And I had a lot of fun there last year too,
That's pretty cool. That wasn't on my bingo card as you suggested, but yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
for sure. All right, let me ask you this: like, who is that one player, maybe it's someone on the team in the past that you'd be like, this guy would be really fun to tailgate with?
Former teammate?
Outside of yourself, of course.
You mean like a former teammate or
Yeah. Former teammate that'd be like, this guy, either he is fun or would be really fun, you feel like if you got him at a tailgate in the element.
man? I mean, Steve Tannehill was a blast. I've only tailgated with him once, and it was, as you could imagine, just absolute chaos. Man, that's a tough question. But like I said, man, you can kind of make what is it, chicken salad out of chicken shit, no matter where you're at. If you're around, some solid people, dude, you can figure out a way to make it fun. As far as like, God, that's a great question, dude. I'm kind of stumped, man. I don't really have an answer for you.
Well, I mean, and I asked that question because I've been asked that question before. And again, not just saying this to stroke your ego because you're on here now. I was like, Stephen Garcia would be the guy that I would want to tailgate with because you probably don't remember this, but I think it was on your official visit to South Carolina. I
Oh
might
shit.
have
Yeah,
been
no,
a
I did.
younger.
I did not remember it then.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll just say I think I met you that evening. I don't know if you would remember that though, base. It looked like you were having a really good time.
Yeah, yeah. They
So I was like,
back with
this
the
guy
old
would be fun to tailgate with.
what was it? Rocco's. Was that the name of that
I
place
think
in Five
it was at
Points?
Sharkies at the time, I believe, of
Sharkies.
where
God
yeah.
Almighty. Yeah, the Everclear drinks.
Yeah, I don't do those anymore.
Yeah, those are bad news bears. Yeah, that I mean, those visits up there. I mean, I took I think three unofficial ones and then one official one, and it was magical every single time.
No doubt, no doubt. So I'm sure 5 points is the reason why you chose to come to Columbia, right?
I mean, it had a little bit of factor, but no, for the most part, man, it was Coach Spurrier and the guys that were, in that recruiting class, and kind of the whole layout of the school, and just, I mean, I honestly, I just fell in love with the whole area.
Oh, trust me, I understand 100%. And that takes me to the next topic. I was going to say about Coach Spurrier, again, one of the best coaches of all time. So, what is something behind the scenes that the average fan is not going to know about Steve Spurrier that you know about Steve Spurrier? What's something unknown about him that's kind of a fun fact?
Man, I feel like he's such an open book. I feel like people kind of already know what exactly he is. Uh, he didn't mince words. He didn't shy away from the camera. He kind of said exactly what was on his mind at all times. Yeah, God, I don't know. Man, you're kind of peppering with some good questions here, dude.
I told you. I told you.
Shit.
Um, but so let me ask you this question. This might be an easier one for you. Have you ever
Actually,
tailgated with Steve Spurrier?
I got an answer for you.
Okay.
I don't think people fully appreciate or understand that and this is hard for me to even say out loud. He was he was a very he was adamant on being a player's coach.
Okay.
He was a coach's coach. I think I was on Wednesdays. Every single Wednesday during the season, he had like family nights. So all the coaches brought their wives, their kids, nephews, cousins, whatever, and there was a big party in the stadium. Uh, he was, if it was sprinkling outside, he'd call practice. Yeah, I'm gonna go play 9 holes real quick. If it was a beautiful day, you guys had a good practice. All right, I'm gonna go play nine. He was the ultimate player's coach. If you got your shit done and did it, the right way and did it on time, he was cool. Unless you were me and had a beard and long hair and dressed like a caveman, and then he was on your ass all times. But it's fun. It's actually kind of funny, man. I was texting back and forth with Jerry Spurrier the other day, and I was sitting there watching a press conference of a current coach, and I was like, hey man, like, I just want to let you know, like, I never appreciated Coach Spurrier when I was playing for him. I really do appreciate his just blunt honesty. If you sucked, he was going to let you know. If you weren't getting the job done, he was going to take the blame and put somebody else in. He wasn't sugarcoating shit, and I think that's a lost art in this day and age.
No, you're not wrong about that on a lot of different standpoints, not just in
Yeah,
college football either. So
yeah. I
I
know
was
that was
going
a
to
long
so
that was a long-winded answer in response, but
no, no, no. I appreciate that part. I was going to ask you too, and it sounds like you still talk to Jerry, but like, when's the last time you talked to Steve?
I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
What do those conversations look like now as a postgraduate versus when you were with
Ve-
the program?
they're very quick and short. I don't want to hold up a bunch of his time, and he he's got a million other things on his mind. So it's kind of a quick little, hey coach, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Um, training a quarterback. And I caught myself saying something that you said to me when I was playing. I just thought you'd appreciate that. And he's like, shit, yeah, yeah, see, it all comes back around, doesn't it, Garcia? So just shit like that. And it's just, it's hard to admit because I'm the hard headed motherfucker. My wife's over here looking at me, shaking her head in response. Thanks, sweetheart. Um, but yeah, it's hard for me to admit that it's like, man, coach, you were right on so many things. And if I would have just shut the fuck up and done what you asked me to do, cut my hair, shave my beard, dress like I'm a professional golfer, to be honest, man, I'd still be playing in the NFL right now. There's no doubt in my mind. Because I'm watching these games on Sunday. These guys are not throwing the ball like I can. And it's just, I sound like Kenny Powers right now, but it's just the reality of it. So whatever.
So with that, when's the last time you like really, really threw the football? Like, can you still sling it today?
Dude, I mean, at least twice a week. I throw at the combine guys, the NFL free agents. I don't know if you know the name. It's so weird even saying it out loud. The name Route God. He's on. TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. He's famous. He trains like OBJ. He trains like all these NFL guys. Anyways, Deontay Johnson from the Panthers, I'm sure. Yeah. So he lives right around this, literally right around the corner from me. And, I throw with him twice a week. And every single time we throw, these guys are like, God damn, man, if you could stay off the body, you'd still be in the league. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. So that's the locker room kind of banter that I miss, dude. But, it's like riding a bike, man. It's hard. And, training some of these high school kids and these youth kids, they're like, man, you can really throw the ball. Did you play this? I was like, your parents are paying me money. They didn't Google me first to like find out what the hell's going on.
Now, have you at any point tried to dip your toe back into going professional with the ball?
No,
Do
nope.
you have any interest in that, or is that ship sailed 100%?
Shit, that thing is gone. That thing is
Gone, okay.
gone. Yeah. And it breaks my heart. I still feel like I can do it, but I know deep down inside there's no chance. I mean, those guys are the guys that are playing, that are on rosters, that are trying to get on rosters, are in their pinnacle shape of their, lives, and they're working every single day on this. I'm shoveling crushed concrete for the last 2 days. I'm moving shipping containers. I'm building gazebos and pergolas. I'm, getting ready to dig a pool up. I'm doing so much other shit that there's no chance I can compete at that level. As confident as I am, I just know for sure, and I don't even know if I'd want to. I'm perfectly content with the kind of operation that I got running down here in Tampa.
Excellent. No, that was my other question. But I was like, I didn't know where you had moved to. So you're in Tampa, Florida now?
Oh yeah, born and raised, man, and Lutz, actually, not officially Tampa. It's Lutz.
Okay. Excellent. So
So
who's your favorite NFL team? Are you a Bucks fan, or who are you going with?
I don't give a shit, to be honest. Whoever I'm betting on, I guess.
Who is, in your opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL right now? All just pure
Oh
talent and skills.
God. Mm, right now. I mean, I'm a Matt Stafford guy. He was my host at Georgia when I went on the visit there. Uh, Salt of the earth kid. He's got the fake teeth now, which is I text him every now and then and give him shit about it, but whatever. Uh, yeah, I'd have to say Matt Stafford. He's got such arm talent that's why he's still in the league, and that's why he's still successful, like wildly successful. Um, but there's some other guys, man, like Lamar Jackson. Hats off to Lamar. I didn't think that his game was going to translate the way it did at all. And the fact that he's doing what he's done in his entire career is very impressive. Obviously, Josh Allen's a namesake. The guy that I did the podcast with, Pat DeMarco, played with Josh, and he's like, dude, you guys are the same fucking people, like literally the exact same people. So I'm a fan of Josh. But yeah, I mean, as far as just overall talent, I mean, Stafford's elite, and he has been for his entire career.
I mean, this might be his best season he's had so far. Even this late in his career, he's crushing it.
Yeah, he's crushing it, absolutely crushing it. They should have freaking lost to Seattle. Of course, that ruined my parlay, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Okay. So let me one more football related question for it. So if somebody handed you the rock right now and said, chunk it as far as you can, how far could you toss it today?
Over 60.
Over
I think
60?
over 60 easily. I would say it's probably closer to 70. But like I said earlier, man, it's like riding a bike. It's really not that hard. I mean, I'm 240 pounds. I can still put my weight into it and get the job done. So uh yeah, I'd say let's say 65 just to be safe.
Okay. Fair enough. 65 yards on the record. We'll have a video next week if you're doing it, right?
That's yes. I'm glad you asked me that. I'm gonna get some drone footage.
Excellent. All right. Let me ask you this question. NIL. What are your thoughts on NIL right now?
Judging by my reaction, what do you think?
I could either take it as you think it's ridiculous, or you think it needs to be back there where you were doing it too, so that you could have everything you needed.
Let's start the conversation off like this. What do you think about it?
I think players deserve more than they were getting back when you were playing. Period.
Well, we
Um,
didn't get shit. Just
I
so
know
for the
that's it.
record,
So I mean, anything is better than what it was back then. I think the whole thing has gotten kind of wild with the transfer portal and NIL money and everything. So like in my mind, I feel like there's needs to be the pendulum is swung both ways, and I think it needs to have just a little bit more. I think for the bouncing around and everything for it, people, the players still need to get paid, putting their buys in the line and everything with it. But that's Luke's 2 cents for whatever that may be worth.
and I couldn't agree with you more. And and I tell people this all the time. It's like when you have arguably the greatest college football coach in the history of the sport to retire due to this shit, maybe there's something a little offsetting. Uh, it's and the thing is not now you it's trickled down to high school guys. So now you have high school guys getting paid to stay committed to a certain school. The whole thing, let me tell you this. I agree with you. I think guys should be getting paid, but it should be on a, performance based deal. Basically how it was in Canada for me. It was like you have your base salary, now it's performance based on top of that bonuses. Uh I don't know how they're gonna cap it. I don't know how they're gonna reel this thing back in. I really don't. And it's to be completely honest with you, I think it's ruined college football. Um, I got some buddies that are big time boosters at Florida, at Miami. And for instance, last year when Cam Ward set out in the second half, my buddy was sitting there, he's like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not paying another cent to that school so that that money goes to him and then he sits out. I'm not doing that. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of that going on. And I mean, I can go on and on about this, man. It's really unfortunate, and especially seeing it with our guys at Carolina, man. I don't understand where who comes up with the valuation. Does anybody know, or is it just like, hey, man, here's an open check. You write whatever you want, and then we'll go from there. It's like
I
a
have
it's like
no
a it's like
idea.
a it's like a housing contract. Like what? How do you? I don't know. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I'm gonna say this on air. I don't give a shit. And listen, I love the kid. He's been awesome as a friend, as a guest on the podcast. Dude, Lonerris getting paid $4 million in the city of Columbia, South Carolina, is astronomical. To win what 12 games in his career, eh, and he's played like shit this year. And I've talked to him. He knows that. There's been some handicap shit going on with the offensive system that he's been running, but dude, he's way too talented to. And I've told him this. I was like, dude, you look like you don't know where the hell to go with the ball. You might have to edit this thing because he might get all pissed off that I'm saying this, but I don't really give a shit. I consider myself uncancelable. But dude, it's like, why are we paying people this much money to kind of be mediocre? And I'm not talking about just Lenore's. I'm talking about who's the guy from Michigan, Underwood. They're paying him
Yep.
how much? 13 million.
It's a lot.
The hell's he done? Here's my example. Like I said, this is a long-winded response for that question because I got a lot of shit to say this. But if I'm the starting quarterback, all right, at Michigan, you're going to pay this kid $13 million to come here. That's going to be a huge rift in that QB meeting room. A huge rift. A huge rift. And now that you open the fact that now there's a transfer portal, I saw Sam Levitt is his camp is shopping him around. Like, dude, what are we doing, man? It's turned into NFL free agency year after year. Kids can transfer. There's no penalty. There's no nothing. I don't think it's healthy for the sport. I don't think it's healthy for the kids. I don't think it's good for anybody. And the fans are ultimately the ones that suffer because, dude, they're putting in they're donating to this cause. You know, I listen to this. I still get emails from the University of South Carolina asking me to donate. I'm like,
Me too.
motherfucker, I said, why don't you guys pay me? I want some goddamn reparations.
Uh, I mean, I feel like there's probably a lot of people that were in your shoes back in the day, right? That were getting. I think of like Reggie Bush and some of these guys that got slapped in the hand or stuff taken away because they're doing what everybody's doing now, and so that's
Right.
just it blows my mind just thinking about it.
No, it's extremely upsetting. And there's guys that, for instance, Pat DeMarco, he played 10 years in the league. He made a good amount of money. He's like, who gives a shit? It's like, yeah, you played 10 years in the league. I didn't play 10 years.
Right?
But it goes back to the point, man. I'm perfectly content with what's going on down here. But the fact is, it's like I have a story. I'll have to tell you off air, or you could probably Graham might have to edit this one. But there was times where I went down to like sign autographs for whoever the hell it was, and I was sitting there with some big time. I'm not going to name any names, but there were some players on the roster at South Carolina that were potential first round guys. Some of them were first round guys. And I'm watching them. They're doing handshakes and getting. I'm looking at them. They can't even fit the money in their hand. They're have to hold it and like put it in the bag. So I'm asking these guys. I'm asking the guys like, hey, what about me, man? Where's my money at? Oh yeah, you're white, man. Your parents have money. You don't need any money. I was like, my parents have money. I don't have shit. Like, come on, man. But yeah, man, let's not kid ourselves. There's been money being given to players
For
since
years.
the dawn of time.
Yeah.
It's and rightfully so. These guys should be getting paid. They should be getting paid. And people can say, "Oh, you got room and board," but fuck all that. To hell with that. That's bullshit. These guys should be getting paid, but they should be performance based, in my opinion. But I don't. I can bitch and complain all I want. And I told Perry Orth this. I said, because he was arguing with me back and forth, not arguing, but agreeing with me. We can bitch and complain all we want via text. It's not going to make a damn difference.
Not yet. I still think there will be some changes. It's not going anywhere, in my opinion, but I think there will be some changes where it goes to either more contract based, incentive based, like something to kind of lock it in and give a little bit more stability. Because I think the fans at some point are going to be the ones that start to kind of turn off from it, and that's when the NCAA everybody's
100%.
going to be like, wait a minute, we got to wrangle this thing in so we don't lose the people that are making all this money happen.
Right, right. And then when you start pissing the fans off, that's when shit goes downhill in a flash of an eye. I don't know if that
Right.
I don't know if that's the right saying, but you get
Blink
my
of an
you
eye,
get my
flash of
point.
an eye. Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
You get it. You get it.
All right, let me ask you one more question on NIL, just for kicks and giggles before we
Oh,
we transition on that. If NIL was available back then, and you had, would you say, one of those monster, say $2 million paydays on there, would that have been a bad thing for younger Stephen Garcia, or a good thing?
horrible. Would have been
Horrible.
horrible. And
What
we
would you have done with your first like amount of money? You think?
I don't even know. Don't even know, and I don't even want to think about it because it'll piss me off. And it'll also make me happy because I talk about this with my parents and my mom. My mom is very blunt. She goes, "Steven, if you got NIL money, you'd be in a ditch. You'd be dead." And my wife's over there shaking her head, yes. And she's 100% right. 100% right. I didn't know what the hell is it. My dad's a financial planner. He's like, "Oh, I would have managed your money." I was like, "Bull fucking shit, you would have." Bullshit. It's a scary thought. But to give these kids credit, to give the kids credit, they have a whole camp. I keep doing the quotation deal, but they have a whole camp with financial advisors for agents. They got plenty of people that are kind of managing their stuff. So hopefully they're doing right by the kids because a lot of agents are skimming off the top. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. Well, I know. I feel like we could probably talk about NIL for all night. Now, but I appreciate some of the open responses you have on that. Let's shift back over to a couple just fun tailgating things. You're at a tailgate. What's in your cup? What's your favorite drink to have when you're tailgating?
Tequila.
Tequila, like straight up. Do you have a favorite brand?
I started doing what is it? Don Julio. What is it? 42? 1942?
No, it's more expensive.
what is it? I don't even know. But yeah, the reposado is significant. Uh, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, kind of got away from vodka. So my wife is Russian. I'll give you a little story. We got time for a story, right?
Oh yeah.
So this is a good story. She's laughing her ass off right now. Um, so I just came back and I bought a handle, not a handle of Tito's vodka. And her dad from Moscow, not doesn't speak English very well. He's like, "Oh, hey, one shot, never miss." So we pour a shot of piss warm vodka out of the handle. We proceed to drink the entire handle of vodka via shots. I completely lost my mind, completely blacked out, have no idea what the hell happened. He drove home. He texted me the next morning, or he called me and he's like, "Steven, how's your head feel?" I was like, "Dude, what the hell?" So my vodka is I can't do vodka like I used to.
No, that's. I think we all have that one maybe liquor that has a similar story. Maybe not with our in-laws or future
Oh,
in-laws at the time.
no, it was a tough deal, but yeah, for tailgates, man, yeah, tequila, soda lime is pretty standard. I mean, I'll rip some beers here and there, and every time I go to a tailgate in Colombia, I was like, hey, let's shotgun a beer. I was like, God bless. I have a hard time saying no, so it's like, all right, yeah, sure,
Done,
whatever.
done, done, done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice. All right, so you got your tequila in one hand. What kind of food? What's the best tailgating food to eat on?
Oh man, I don't really eat a whole lot of food when I'm doing that, to be honest, and that's a bad mixture. Uh,
In there.
but I'll tell you this much. Home Team Barbecue has been a sponsor for our podcast, and dude, their pulled pork. They make some sliders, and I'll hammer those things. It's a good little base.
No, that sounds. I haven't had dinner yet. At the time of this filming, and I'm getting hungry. I love some pulled pork. I'm gonna have to. All
Yeah,
right,
no, it's a good
last
little
one.
mixture.
Favorite tailgating game?
Oh man, I mean, I'm a classic guy. I like Flip Cup more than anything
Okay.
because it gets a job done. Uh, beer pong is it takes too long. You miss a shot, you have to sit there and just wait. I mean, obviously you have your own drink as you're sipping on, but I like Flip Cup. You're it's interactive. You're competing against somebody else, and it's pretty fun.
No, that's the first time we've had Flip Cup on the show as the favorite tailgating game. So there you go.
So what's the consensus then?
The consensus is what you think it would be cornhole, right? And I feel like sometimes people just like, oh, cornhole, right? That's the go-to, right? That people know the most. There's nothing wrong with cornhole, but there's so many freaking tailgating games out there that I always had to ask the question to see like how creative do we get?
Yeah, I'm not very good at cornhole either, so I don't really. It's like bowling. I don't really give too much of a shit about it.
Fair enough. All right. So as, as we wind down, Stephen, our Gamecocks haven't had the best season, right? As we sit here in late November forward. So we have two games coming up, one against arch rival, the Clemson Tigers. So two questions. One, do you have any stories of playing Clemson in the past that could help inspire the team? And I'll start with that one.
Not really anything that would inspire. I mean, if you're not inspired to play against those guys, then why are you fucking playing for this university? And here's the deal. Here's the deal, Luke. I grew up in Florida. I had no idea where University of South Carolina was on a map when I was getting recruited. I had no idea where Clemson was, and Clemson recruited me as well. Uh, I I didn't give a shit about the rivalry. I mean, obviously, I knew about the brawl because who didn't know about that?
Sure.
My uncle played at Florida State. I was somewhat of a Florida State guy. Uh, didn't really give a shit about college football that much at all when I was a kid. I was more NFL guy. Uh, but yeah, I mean, if you can't get juiced up to play against your in-state rival, guys that you went to high school with, guys that we're sometimes it's like, especially the success that Clemson's has, like, why, how come I didn't get offered by Clemson? There's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. And, when I went up there, Coach Spurrier was like, yeah, we want to compete for the SEC, East, and we're going to compete for the SEC championship, you know, try to play for the BCS title. And not once did he mention anything about Clemson. He didn't care about that rivalry that much at all. So I mean, there's a little bit of that, but at the end of the day, man, that's what Carolina fans care most about is beating Clemson. We could be 0-9, 0-10, however many games they play now. As long as you beat Clemson, you've had a successful year, which is
This
which
year
is
feels that way.
which is crazy. Yeah, this year definitely feels that way. Yeah, we have to beat them. And I mean, a little to add on that, man. The fact that they are having Dabo on the hot seat because he's underperformed this year is baffling to me. The guy's won national championships. He's taken in the playoffs year after year. He's been successful, and now all of a sudden they've kind of shit the bed this year. It's like, oh yeah, Dabo's got to go. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Why?
it's wild.
So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that's a long-winded answer. I'm giving you a lot of long-winded answers, but
I love
yeah,
it.
you got to get juiced up. I mean, that's again, it's your in-state rivalry. If you win that game, it propels you no matter where you're at record-wise. You win that game, it propels you, through the offseason.
What's the one key? I know you've like myself probably seen all the games this year and have had levels of frustration and everything with it. What's the one thing they need to do, Carolina speaking, to win out this year?
Let Lonerris be Lonerris. Let him be who the fuck he is.
It seems so
They're trying to
easy,
make him
doesn't
like
it?
a pop.
Seems easy.
They
It's
had
not.
success last year. They
Right.
had success last year. Let him do it. Like they're so worried about, preparing for the NFL. It's like let that's his job after the season. Let him focus on winning games and playing the way his skill set is designed for. Let him do what he does. And that's the key. I mean, we saw last year, we had no business winning that game. Give the ball to 16, let him run around, make plays, and we win. That's kind of been the most, and that's just not me as a former quarterback. That's every fan. Every fan is like, why are we not doing what we did last year? So I get everybody's frustration, man. It is frustrating, and I give Lenoir's a lot of shit just because he's taking a lot of sacks. He's trying to run the ball way too much. But why are we not designing him to run? Let him run. He's as heavy as I was when I was playing, and significantly faster. Let him go.
Yeah, no, it seems easy when you say it, but for some reason it hasn't translated yet. Now, Stephen, do you want to go ahead and memorialize the final score for the Carolina Clemson game on here tonight?
Oh, no, I have no idea.
So
And
I don't either.
hold on. I mean, shit, we got Coastal Carolina. They've won, I think, 5 or 6 games in a row. I mean, they're not some, preseason, everybody's like, oh, that's a win for sure. Who knows? Who knows? We got to play well, man. Those guys are going to be fired up. They
Yep.
got Chance, who was the associate AD last year. He's scorned because he didn't get the job this season. So I mean, they're going to be fired up. That's going to be a fired up, group of Chanticleers or whatever they're called. They're going to be fired up to play. So if we don't come up with our bootstraps up, man, they can beat our ass. Any given Saturday. We
Uh,
can't overlook them. Everybody wants to talk about Clemson. We can't overlook this, especially this year, man. We got to look. We got to look to Saturday and focus on one game at a time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, hopefully the Gamecocks can take some of your advice and apply it and win out this year. Maybe get a little momentum going into the offseason because there won't be any bowling this year for us to do in regards to that. But uh, Stephen, tell us this too. I know you have your own podcast. Go ahead and give a plug, give a shout out for what people can expect when they tune in, and shout it out right now.
Oh yeah, Tailgate Talks. It's me and Pat DeMarco. He came up to me 2 years ago, and Pat was my roommate, teammate for a bunch of years, and He's like, "Hey, man, I want to start a podcast." And I've been trying to start my own podcast for a while now. And when he said that, I was like, "Dude, I'm in. I don't care about anything else you're saying. I'm in." He is the structured guy, as you can imagine. I'm clearly the chaos guy. Uh, and it's we've definitely bumped heads over the course of the past 2 years. Um, but it's been awesome. Getting a chance to rekindle relationships with former teammates. We just had John Abraham on, and getting a chance to hear these guys' stories. Not just about their playing days, but about their childhood, about their NFL journey, about literally everything. It's been really cool to kind of hear what they have to say. And I for the most part, I feel like Gamecock fans have really enjoyed it.
No, no doubt. Like I am a listener and follow you on social and everything now as well too. And so because I'm like, man, anything that's talks about tailgating and former like Carolina athletes out there, it's like I'm in. I'm in. So I think it's awesome what you're
It's
doing with Pat too.
it's a lot more fun to do it in person. I will say that. Doing the remote stuff is always fun, but doing it in person and getting a chance to like drink bourbon and kind of get a little buzz going with these guys and let them kind of tell their real story is it's awesome. Get a little liquid courage in them.
Nice. So am I hearing so tequila at the tailgates, bourbon for podcast?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well,
Yeah,
hey, Stephen, thank you so much, man. I know we've been on here chopping it up now for a while. Like, you've been awesome. I love all the background stories and appreciate you being on here tonight. I think at some point in the future, like, we're going to have to tailgate together. I feel like that's going to be in the destiny in our cards. It's going to happen at some point.
absolutely. We have to make it happen no matter what.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, with that, everybody that tuned into the end of the episode, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the whole time for the episode tonight. Again, this was the Tailgate Connect podcast. We are like your Airbnb tailgate solution out there. We have tailgates from the NFL college markets all across the land. If you want easy button tailgating, check out tailgateconnect.com for all your tailgate needs. Shout out to Steve for being here tonight and hope to see you at a tailgate soon. Have a good one.
Tailgate Connect.